Bring in Clay Helton now, and 4-3. Coach is back above 500. A lot more fun to do these shows, Coach, when you're riding a winning streak. But you know what? What has been missing at times from this program over the last few years is just the ability to take care of business, to go on the road and beat somebody that frankly, you should beat. Are you happy with the focus of your team and what they came out with on Saturday?
Yeah, I was really proud of the mindset that they brought to this week. They brought a business-like attitude, and they had heard the whispers of, hey, we haven't won a road game this year. We're in playoff mode right now. We know we're in a hole and one game back of first place. That's the parity right now in the league. And we knew we needed to go get a good road victory, but really wanted to have a great performance and perform up to our capabilities, and really felt we came away from that game playing by far our best game of the year.
Yeah.
You know, Coach, a lot of players are playing well, and I know it's a team effort when you win, and a lot of people deserve a lot of credit. But your quarterback, I mean, we talk about him every single week, but, I mean, deservedly so. He is playing phenomenal right now.
Yeah, he's really doing a nice job, JJ. Distributing the ball, 9 different receivers in this game, caught balls, 5 touchdown passes. But what I appreciated the most is his coachability, to go from having 3 turnovers a week before, making it a point of emphasis, him coming back and protecting the ball, 1, with good decisions in the passing game, but 2, the ability to get down, secure the ball, and protect himself. There were a couple times I wish he would have got down a little bit sooner, but he's ultra competitive. But I thought he really took coaching and really had a sense of urgency to, hey, I'm going to protect this football when I run it. And, it did what great quarterbacks do, too. When he did run, he kept his eyes downfield.
Yeah.
And, he finds Deontay, in the end zone off a scramble, off a max drop 8, by keeping his eyes downfield, playing good football right now for a redshirt freshman.
But what I was worried about when we talked all last week about turnovers is you don't want to take his aggressiveness away from him, because what has gotten you back above 500 is his playmaking ability and just sparking this whole offense, and he still was able to maintain that just in a more careful way. And I wanted to talk about one drive. He made 3 plays on 3rd down with his legs on what I thought was the key drive in the game early on. You, on the other side, have faced quarterbacks like this all the time. How much of a backbreaker is that for a team when it's 3rd and 5 and the quarterback, they got everything covered and he gets 5, and it's 3rd and 6, and then as you said, the Deontay Burnett play in the end zone?
Yeah, it's beyond frustrating, because you sit back there and you decide, okay, we're going to drop 8, we're going to cover your receivers. Hope our defensive line can contain, and not let the quarterback get out of the pocket. And Sam did a terrific job. He found the windows of opportunity when the passes were there, and then when they weren't, he pulled it down, stepped up in the pocket, and got the first down yardage and got down. And you look at it, and you're above 50% on 3rd downs. You kept drives alive, and I know the drive you're talking about. I thought it was key in the game. It put us ahead and kept us ahead for the rest of the day.
Offensive line as well, playing very good as a unit, and highly criticized early in the season, of course, but now it seems like there's no problems at all. There's no sacks. I mean, Sam did not get sacked the entire game. What has it been, or what's been the sort of the secret behind it that has sort of turned this unit around? We knew they were good coming in, but now they're playing even probably beyond some of the expectations we had.
Yeah, I think the unit's really gelling right now. Yeah, I've always felt that when you're playing your best football, your offensive line has a chemistry, and they play as one. It's not individuals, and right now they're playing as a unit. The communication between the 5, 6, 7 kids that are in there right now playing is mind-blowing. I mean, to go into the last 3 games, I thought they've played at a very, very high level. This past game, 320 rushing yards, no sacks, protecting the quarterback. We challenged them this week that it should be a dominant performance by you. We really felt that, we had an advantage going into that game. And when you have a young quarterback and you have a veteran running back out, you got some young running backs, it's the O-line's turn. When you have 2 seniors and 3 juniors on that line, it's their time to step up, and I thought they did.
We were talking about injuries going into this game. Unfortunately, you suffered a bad one in this game, but you had been relatively healthy, and I'd almost forgotten about Toa Lobendon. And no disrespect to Toa, but how is Nico Fala playing well enough that people, are not thinking about a new center.
Yeah, you got to remember. I mean, he's a redshirt junior too. He's
Yeah.
grown up within this system and has put a lot of work and investment into his own game, waiting his turn. And that's just a sign of a good player that you get your opportunity to make the most of it. I think about those guys like a Nico Falla who's waited his turn, a Mike Hutchings, who's waited his turn around behind good players, and now is having a great year. And that's what you want. That's a mark of a good team, is when your older vets step up and make the most of their opportunity.
With the receiving core, I mean, you lose Stephen Mitchell now. You have some guys that have been playing, in his place. What do you lose? Not just the talent of Stephen Mitchell, but what else do you lose from him, from the personality and what he brought to this group as a whole?
Yeah, just a great kid. It's sad. It's sad for him and sad for our football team, because he was really having his best season as a Trojan. Coming off the first knee injury his freshman year, and really had an ankle injury last year. Playing really good football and had invested in himself to, gosh almighty, was playing significant time, leading receiver at Colorado, at the Colorado game, and just playing good football. And to see that happen, you saw the reaction by not only our players, but that wide receiver unit. I mean, he's a favorite among the team, and just sad for him. He had a great mindset, though. He was in the weight room this morning, and in the weight room this morning, and he's lifting upper body, and just the look on his face, I said, buddy, that's it. That's the mindset you have to have when you have this injury. Modern medicine will take care of it nowadays. It's all the mindset of getting back, and I love the way he approached it today.
And the mindset you have to take with your team, obviously, is next man up. How do you replace Stephen Mitchell? I would assume Deontay Burnett gets an even bigger role, and he's certainly deserving of that. He's been fantastic this season. Sort of who takes Deontay's role then? Yeah,
we got a couple different options. Obviously, Deontay is playing really good football. Ever since the Notre Dame game last year, I thought he's really stepped up.
This is a kid who came in, 140 pounds, soaking wet?
Soaking wet.
I mean, he certainly didn't look like a big-time player, but he is one.
Yeah, he makes all his plays. Every opportunity, he gets the opportunity, he makes his plays. And, we're very fortunate to have a Jalen Green, who, being a former quarterback, knows all the positions and is trained that way, so he knows the slot receiver position. And then we have a package which we call 3 big, and that's putting the big receivers and putting Juju as the F with a Michael Pittman coming in, or an Isaac Whitney or Daquan matching the opposite side of Darius. So we have a couple different options that we can go to. We're deep at the position, thank goodness, and we need to be right now with Stephen being out.
All right, you mentioned Juju. We'll talk about him when we come back. More with the coach. You're listening to Trojans Live on ESPN LA 710. Back on Trojans Live, JJ and I are joined by the head coach, Clay Helton, here inside the lab tonight. It was a rainy morning. Maybe that scared us inside tonight, but getting cozy with the coach. Still talking about that great win over Arizona, convincing win. Almost turned into a costly victory. I mean, it certainly did, as we talked about Stephen Mitchell. And all of a sudden, Juju goes down in a heap, and I'm sure you were not feeling particularly good in that moment. But it sounds like he's going to be okay, and just another tremendous game by your junior wide receiver.
Yeah, really playing good football right now. The chemistry between him and Sam, you can see on tape and on TV. He's made some really dynamic plays in that game in one-on-one situations. You saw the deep ball that he goes up and catches in that one-on-one situation, but also his ability to break tackles, one-on-one tackles right before that 2-minute drive, to be able to throw him a 10-yard ball, and then all of a sudden you look up and he's 30 more yards in the end zone. Playing good football right now, and he's one of the big reasons we've been on this win streak.
He's very different, I think, at least physically, from the recent run of star receivers. What do you think Juju's greatest asset is as he goes on in his football career?
I just think his strength is, the ability of yards after catch, and as he progresses as a player, he's one of those guys. Every time he touches it, I just hold my breath, because I'm like, he may just slap this guy down and walk in the end zone. He has that capability with his physical strength. Nelson and Woody and Marquise had some very smooth transition, a lot of speed. This is a very strong, powerful man in Juju, and has that same competitive fire that the other three I just mentioned have. He's one of the most competitive people I've ever been around.
We talked about ball security a little bit, and I know that, a lot of you said Sam sort of took care of what he needed to do. But when it comes to overall ball security, you take it from the turnovers, the week before, and then go 0, but the 4 takeaways.
Yeah.
that really was a big difference maker for you as well on the defensive side.
Yeah, when you create the field position our defense did in that game, you give us to us on the 9-yard line, the 13-yard line, and credit to the offense punching it in. But that field position separates you in the game. It changes the game from a 7-7 game, and all of a sudden you look up and it's 21-7 right then and there. You get another turnover. Oh, it was 34-7 at halftime. And credit to the defense. I thought they played phenomenal football, especially our secondary. I haven't been a part of too many games where there was only one completion in a half. To hold a team to one completion and then
4 yards.
and really, for Chris Hawkins to come up with a big turnover to put his helmet on that ball to cause a fumble that Adoree picks up. They're playing good football right now, and Clancy's doing a real nice job of dialing up both pressure and coverage.
We'll talk to Chris Hawkins here in a moment. Led your team in tackles, then had that key forced fumble. And as you said, you were able to make them one-dimensional, but I thought it was a little bit different than the Utah game in that I know you wanted to keep the quarterback in the pocket and force him to beat you with his arm, but you managed to do it without sort of getting passive defensively. What was the key to being aggressive and harassing Khalil Tate, but also not letting him beat you with his legs?
Yeah, he got out a couple times.
Early,
I mean, he's a great athlete. We've known him right here from Los Angeles, from Sarah High School, and have a lot of respect for him. I mean, he's a dynamic athlete, and I really thought the ability, you saw us with a lot of A-gap pressures with both linebackers walking up inside to try to stop the inside run game, and Porter and Chenna having to cover the edges. He got outside a couple times, but the majority of the time they were able to hold those edges. We were able to get pressure on them, and then the secondary, I thought, did an unbelievable job in the game. They just felt like they were in the hip of the receivers time in and time out.
Now, this was an Arizona team that was supposed to be able to run the ball very well. What was the key for the defense? I mean, you had to deal with Tate, you had to deal with Wilson, but the defense as a whole did a good job of stopping the run against a team where that's really the only thing they really could do efficiently.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Clancy and our players. Clancy's dialing up a ton of pressure right now. That puts pressure on your DBs to hold up in coverage. It also puts pressure on your interior players to hit their gaps properly. Because one of the things that happens on blitz, if you get out of your gap, in 2 minutes, same gap, the ball's gone. And the kids are playing really fundamental assignment sound football right now and being extremely aggressive, and they like it.
Yeah.
We feel like both offensively and defensively right now we're on the attack with the teams that we're playing, and we want to keep that mentality.
As for your run game, we all sort of predicted the Ronald Jones breakout game, and Ronald ran well, but I think what showed more than anything is how deep you are at that particular position.
Yeah, we're very fortunate, not only with Rojo, but with Ced Ware and Dominic Davis. We have some guys back there that we knew we were going to be able to take care of our own with Justin out. We miss Justin a lot, but with those three backs, they're talented kids, and they were challenged, and they stepped up and performed. Really proud of the effort that they gave.
Talk about the bye week a little bit. I know you have mentioned in one of your press conferences that it's an opportunity for, that everybody can get better to improve the entire team. First of all, what kind of improvement and the guys that you're really looking forward to sort of, getting the most out of the bye week? And then also, what is in it for you in terms of schedule and travel and opportunities to see some high school games?
Yeah, definitely. You got a couple advantages here. We're on a bye and Cal isn't, so you get a couple days of extra game planning right now. You also get the opportunity to build your team from the bottom up and develop them from the bottom up. I've always felt that bye weeks are a great opportunity to take those young kids that you're counting on. You saw a couple of them in that game. That's what I was so excited about, is to get a Wally Butiku in and a Connor Murphy and a Jordan Iosefa and some of those younger players that are going to be the next guys that you see in the future, and be able to get them valuable reps. It was a great investment. Now we'll do the same thing this week, and kind of let the Michael Hutchings and the Juju Smith get a little bit of a rest while we're game planning and installing game plan, but also developing some young kids that are literally one play away from playing. And if you always just concentrate on the older vets and worry about them and not develop your young guys, you're not making an investment for the future. So this is a great week to invest in our young kids.
And I know that you're a football fanatic. You love watching football. You'll have 2 weekends off, at least in terms of not having a game of your own to watch football. And I'm wondering if you're seeing what's going on Sundays. Your old pupil Cody Kessler, I think, is really putting it to a lot of people. I think there were a lot of people that didn't think, he was going to be an NFL quarterback, and it seems like from day one he's been fantastic. I assume you're not surprised. What do you think's made him successful so early in his NFL career?
I thought you saw it yesterday. I cheated. I cheated and watched that game.
It was great.
And we've always known him as a great decision maker, and I think that's what the NFL is. He's always thrown a very accurate, catchable ball, and he's always been a terrific decision maker. And that's what you're seeing. The kid threw for over 300 yards yesterday, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Lost another close game, but he's going to develop as a quarterback in that league. I'm really, really proud of him.
You made one good quarterback. You're definitely working on another one right now in Sam Darnold. We'll talk about that and more. But as you teased up, Chris Hawkins had a great game against Arizona. We will talk to the redshirt junior safety next on Trojans Live.